Did you know that even moderate drinking in seniors can raise the risk of cognitive decline by up to 35%? That's according to a large-scale study published in The Lancet Public Health. And it gets worse. After age 65, your body's ability to metabolize alcohol drops sharply. What once felt like just a glass of wine could now interfere with your liver, disrupt your sleep, worsen diabetes and heart disease, and even mess with your memory. Permanently. And here's the scary part. Alcohol can also dangerously interact with medications that many seniors rely on daily. Blood thinners, antidepressants, and even common painkillers. Still think that evening drink is harmless? Well, think again. Before we dive into the full breakdown, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Elderly Health Tips so you never miss out on the truth behind aging and your health. All right, now let's take a look at 4 alcoholic drinks seniors should avoid. Drink number 1. Beer. Doc, it's just light beer. That can't be bad for me, right? I've lost count how many times I've heard this in my clinic, especially from men in their late 50s and early 60s. But here's the truth most people don't realize. Light beer isn't really light. It still packs refined carbs, purines, chemical preservatives, and in some brands, hidden sugar. That combination is especially dangerous if you're over 65. Why? Because your body can no longer filter alcohol the way it used to. Beer is one of the biggest contributors to uric acid spikes, thanks to its high purine content. One of my longtime patients, Carl, 67, retired electrician, came in complaining of toe pain that flared up overnight. Classic gout attack. And guess what? He'd started drinking 2 cans of light beer every night after his walks. The irony? He thought he was being healthy. His uric acid level was 9.8, way above the normal range. Within a month of cutting beer and switching to herbal tea in the evening, his pain dropped by over 70%. That's no coincidence. Many older adults tell me they fall asleep faster after a drink. But here's the thing. Beer disrupts your deep sleep. Alcohol blocks REM cycles. And beer, especially, is a diuretic, meaning more bathroom trips at 2 or 3 a.m. Lack of restorative sleep can lead to memory issues, irritability, poor balance, and what I call foggy mornings. So if you're waking up exhausted despite sleeping 8 hours, it might be the beer. If you're in your 50s or 60s and enjoy a cold one, I'm not here to take away your joy. But you do have options. Try sparkling water with lime, refreshing and hydrating. Explore non-alcoholic craft beers. Just check the sugar content. Herbal teas like chamomile or rooibos in the evening can calm the body without damaging your sleep. Limit alcohol to no more than 1 drink, 2 to 3 times a week, if at all. And here's a simple rule I give my patients. If it's affecting your joints, your sleep, or your memory, it's time to rethink your drink. Drink number 2, truly dangerous, hard liquor. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, every year in the U.S., over 36 million falls are reported among adults 65 and older. And here's the shocker. Over 32,000 of those falls result in death. But what's the link to alcohol? The National Institute on Aging reports that alcohol, especially distilled spirits like whiskey or vodka, acts quickly on the brain, slowing reflexes, impairing coordination, and reducing balance. Even a single standard shot, 1.5 ounces, can triple the chance of a fall in someone over 70. In one study published in JAMA Internal Medicine, researchers found that adults aged 65 plus who consumed just 1 to 2 drinks of hard liquor per day had a 44% higher risk of serious falls compared to those who didn't drink at all. Let that sink in. Liquor acts as a diuretic, meaning it makes your body flush out more fluid than it takes in. For seniors, this creates a perfect storm: dehydration, dry skin, electrolyte imbalances, kidney stress. The National Kidney Foundation notes that alcohol-induced dehydration reduces blood flow to the kidneys, which can speed up age-related kidney decline, especially in those already dealing with high blood pressure or diabetes. One review in Nephrology Dialysis Transplantation found that chronic alcohol use, even moderate, was associated with increased albuminuria, a marker of kidney damage, in people over 60. My own patient, Louise, 68, had rising creatinine levels and dry, irritated skin. After we cut out her nightly vodka shots and boosted her hydration, both her labs and energy improved within 6 weeks. Here's a major issue, and it's underestimated by many older adults. Over 85% of seniors in the U.S. take at least one prescription medication daily, and over 35% take 5 or more. Source: CDC 2021. Now combine that with whiskey or rum. You could be risking sudden blood pressure drops, oversedation or dizziness, dangerous mood swings, memory lapses or blackouts. The NIH's Medline Plus database lists over 150 common drugs that interact negatively with alcohol, including ACE inhibitors, benzodiazepines, and sleep medications. A 2020 study from the American Journal of Geriatric Psychiatry showed that alcohol use in combination with antidepressants in adults over 65 increased risk of hospitalization by 29% and doubled the rate of medication-related adverse events. Mike, 61, one of my early retirees, experienced this firsthand. He mixed rum with Ativan one evening and completely blacked out. The next morning, he couldn't remember driving home. That was his wake-up call. Hard liquor irritates the lining of the stomach and intestines, which can slow digestion, worsen acid reflux, disrupt gut microbiome, cause chronic constipation. The American Gastroenterological Association warns that heavy or frequent liquor consumption leads to gastritis, inflammation of the stomach lining, which is more common and more severe in older adults. Many seniors who complain of constant bloating, irregular bowel movements, or stomach discomfort don't realize their evening drink might be the root cause. Let's talk brain health. The Lancet Public Health published a landmark study in 2022 showing that even moderate alcohol use, defined as 7 to 14 drinks per week, was associated with a 35% increased risk of cognitive decline in adults over 65. Heavy drinkers in that age group? Their risk jumped to 68%, with noticeable shrinkage in the hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for memory and learning. I had one patient, Gerald, 73, who came in worried about early dementia. He'd been drinking 2 to 3 shots of whiskey every night. After 3 months alcohol-free, his wife said he started remembering conversations again. Coincidence? I don't think so. If you're over 60, or even in your 50s and planning for a healthy retirement, here are my tips. Limit alcohol to 1 drink or less, only a few days a week. Always drink with food, never on an empty stomach. Stay hydrated, 1 glass of water per drink. Talk to your doctor about medication interactions. Try sleep-friendly alternatives, warm turmeric milk, magnesium tea, or even a calming playlist. And remember, aging doesn't mean giving everything up. It means choosing what to keep, wisely. Drink number 3, cocktails and mixed drinks. 1 margarita has more sugar than a glazed donut, and more alcohol than you think. Now imagine what that means for someone over 65, with slower liver function, thinner blood vessels, and a medicine cabinet full of prescriptions. Not good. Let's talk cocktails, the fun drinks that sneak up on your body when you're not looking. Cocktails are often made with hard liquor, vodka, rum, gin, mixed with sugary sodas, fruit juices, or flavored syrups. That's a double whammy for older adults: high alcohol plus high sugar. You sip it thinking, this is light, fruity, and harmless. But in reality, most cocktails contain 1.5 to 2 ounces of liquor, same as a shot of whiskey, 20 to 35 grams of sugar, equal to or more than a candy bar. According to the American Diabetes Association, high sugar mixed with alcohol leads to rapid blood sugar spikes, followed by dangerous crashes, especially risky if you're diabetic or pre-diabetic, which includes over 50% of seniors in the U.S. Cocktails stress your liver, overload your pancreas, and confuse your nervous system. The combo of sugar and alcohol forces the liver to process toxins and fructose at the same time, which can double inflammation and slow detox pathways. According to the Journal of Hepatology, chronic intake of sugary alcohol beverages in older adults accelerates fatty liver disease and raises ALT/AST levels more than liquor or beer alone. Not to mention the toll on the gut. Cocktails can trigger acid reflux, cause bloating, and disturb your microbiome, that delicate balance of bacteria that keeps digestion and immunity in check. Let's not forget, cocktails can quietly clash with dozens of common meds. From blood pressure pills to blood thinners and antidepressants, the mix of alcohol plus sugar can intensify side effects like drowsiness, low blood sugar, mood swings, confusion, or memory lapses. And remember, most people don't realize they're drinking hard liquor when it's masked by peach syrup or cola. Here's what I tell my patients, especially those in their 50s or 60s. If you enjoy a sweet drink, try mocktails, herbal, refreshing, and zero alcohol. Use sparkling water with fruit slices, hydrating and beautiful in a glass. Choose one cocktail only, sipped slowly, and always with food. Ask bartenders to cut sugar or make a half-strength version. Never mix drinks with new meds. Always talk to your doctor. And if you're hosting, offer alcohol-free options that look and feel just as festive. Signs that cocktails may be harming you: feeling bloated or nauseous after drinking, sudden brain fog or short-term memory lapses, more fatigue the morning after, even from just 1 or 2 drinks, rising a 1C or liver enzymes on your blood work, sleep disruption, especially if you're waking up at 2 to 3 a.m. If 2 or more sound familiar, that nightly cocktail may not be as harmless as it seems. Drink number 4. Cheap sweet wine. Most people think a glass of wine is no big deal, but cheap sweet wines can contain 2 to 3 times the sugar of regular wine, and many brands don't list it clearly on the label. According to the American Heart Association, 1 glass of some sweet wines can pack 25 to 35 grams of sugar. That's nearly 9 teaspoons in just 1 serving. This is especially dangerous for seniors with diabetes or prediabetes, people with insulin resistance, anyone watching their weight or A1C. In Sharon's case, she was drinking 1 glass of fruit-flavored wine every evening. Her A1C jumped from 6.3 to 7.1 in just 4 months, without any change in diet or exercise. We cut out the wine, replaced it with herbal iced tea, and her next labs? Right back in range. Cheap wines are usually preserved with high levels of sulfites, chemical preservatives that prevent spoilage. They're safe in small doses, but in sensitive individuals, especially older adults, they can cause headaches, inflammation, respiratory irritation, wheezing, coughing. According to the FDA, about 1 in 100 people are sensitive to sulfites, and the risk increases with age, asthma, or chronic sinus issues. I had one patient, Steve, 72, who started waking up with splitting headaches after his nightly cheap Moscato. We switched him to a dry organic wine with low sulfites, and within a week, his headaches were gone. Sweet wines are not just sugary, they're also acidic. And that combo wreaks havoc on two key areas: your teeth and your stomach lining. Dentists from the American Dental Association have warned that acidic wines, especially the fruity kinds, erode tooth enamel, increasing the risk of cavities and tooth sensitivity. At the same time, the acid plus sugar combo can trigger acid reflux, something over 30% of seniors already struggle with. My patient Linda, 65, loved her peach wine at dinner, but she kept waking up at night with burning in her chest. After switching to sparkling water and cutting the wine, her reflux symptoms disappeared within 10 days. Here's what I tell my patients who love the idea of wine, but not the health risks. Choose dry red wines, like Pinot Noir or Cabernet. Lower sugar, fewer additives. If you want something sweet, dilute the wine with sparkling water. Half and half, avoid anything with flavored, dessert, or fruity on the label. Try alcohol-free wines or herbal teas in a wine glass. Keeps the ritual without the damage. Limit intake to 1 glass, 2 to 3 times per week, not daily. And remember, it's not the price tag that matters, it's the ingredients that tell the story. Next, let's explore 2 healthier alternatives for seniors. Alternative drink number 1, a mocktail made with adaptogenic herbs. Did you know one small herb like ashwagandha can lower your stress hormone by up to 30% without alcohol or side effects? That's not hype, that's science, and for seniors especially, it's a game changer. Let's dive into adaptogenic mocktails and why they're becoming one of the smartest health swaps for older adults today. These aren't your average fruit drinks. Adaptogenic mocktails are non-alcoholic beverages made with adaptogens, herbs known to help the body adapt to stress, balance hormones, and boost resilience without overstimulation. Common herbs used include ashwagandha, Withania somnifera, holy basil, Ocimum sanctum, chamomile, Matricaria chamomilla, lemon balm, mint, ginger, and turmeric. Unlike alcohol, which depresses the nervous system, adaptogens modulate it, gently and gradually. In a 2019 randomized controlled trial published in the Medicine Baltimore Journal, researchers found that older adults taking 300 milligrams of ashwagandha daily for 8 weeks had a 32% reduction in cortisol levels and reported significantly less anxiety, fatigue, and irritability compared to placebo. A meta-analysis in the American Journal of Geriatric Psychiatry in 2022 also found that herbal interventions, especially with adaptogens like holy basil and ashwagandha, had a clinically meaningful impact on stress management in aging populations without adverse drug interactions. Compare that to alcohol, which may seem relaxing at first, but is clinically known to disrupt REM sleep, increase cortisol rebound 3 to 4 hours later, cause morning fatigue and irritability. Source: APA 2020. So for seniors who already process stress hormones slower, adaptogenic drinks are not just safer, but actually therapeutic. Chamomile is one of the best-studied herbs for sleep. A clinical study in BMC Complementary Medicine and Therapies, 2015, found that seniors who drank chamomile extract before bed fell asleep 15 minutes faster and experienced longer deep sleep cycles compared to controls. More importantly, chamomile didn't cause next-day grogginess, didn't interfere with blood pressure meds, and didn't worsen balance, unlike sleeping pills or alcohol. Lemon balm, often included in calming mocktails, has been shown to increase GABA activity in the brain, which promotes calmness without sedation. Source: Journal of Ethnopharmacology, 2018. Let's talk brain health, one of the top concerns for aging adults. In a 2022 review published in Nutrients, holy basil, tulsi, was shown to improve cognitive performance, mood, and reaction time in people over 60. It also reduced markers of neuroinflammation, a key driver of age-related memory decline. Ashwagandha also supports brain function by protecting neurons from oxidative stress. A double-blind placebo study in Journal of Dietary Supplements, 2021, found improvements in attention, working memory, and executive function after just 6 weeks in adults aged 55 to 70. Unlike alcohol, which has been linked to increased brain shrinkage and cognitive decline, even at moderate intake levels in people over 65. Source: The Lancet Public Health, 2022. Adaptogens support long-term mental clarity. Seniors often take multiple medications. According to the CDC, over 85% of adults over 65 take at least one prescription drug, and more than 40% take 5 or more. Alcohol is known to interfere with blood thinners, e.g. warfarin, antidepressants, sedatives, and antihypertensives. Metformin and insulin mocktails made from adaptogens don't carry those risks. They're non-toxic to the liver, unlike alcohol, which even in small doses increases the risk of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD, and impairs drug metabolism. A study from Frontiers in Pharmacology, 2022, showed that ginger extract improved liver antioxidant capacity and reduced inflammatory markers in aging rats, suggesting strong potential for liver protection in humans. One of the biggest benefits of these herbal drinks? They let seniors continue to socialize, celebrate, and feel included, without the downsides of alcohol. A mocktail served in a pretty glass, with ingredients like sparkling water, mint, and a dash of holy basil, feels festive. But instead of leaving you tired, dehydrated, or anxious the next day, it helps you feel calm, clear, and rested. And for many of my patients, that shift alone has been transformative. Signs you should try adaptogenic mocktails instead. You're waking up tired or groggy after wine or cocktails. You're on medications that interact with alcohol. You experience digestive issues, headaches, or reflux after drinking. You want to support your memory, mood, and sleep. Naturally, you're looking for a drink that heals, not harms. Alternative drink number 2, kombucha. Kombucha is a fermented tea traditionally made by adding a SCOBY, symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast, to sweetened black or green tea. Over time, this fermentation process creates organic acids, probiotics, B vitamins, and small amounts of alcohol, usually under 0.5% ABV in commercial non-alcoholic versions. It's fizzy, slightly sour, and when unpasteurized and well-made, it's loaded with compounds that promote gut and metabolic health. Digestion slows down with age. It's just biology. Your stomach acid declines, your gut microbiota becomes less diverse, and you're more prone to bloating, constipation, and malabsorption of nutrients like B12, magnesium, and iron. In a large-scale study published in the Journal of Medicinal Food, 2020, researchers found that kombucha contains beneficial strains like Gluconacidobacter, Lactobacillus, and Zygosaccharomyces, which can increase the population of good gut bacteria, help break down undigested food, support better absorption of vitamins. The study concluded that daily consumption of kombucha improved bowel regularity in adults over 60 by over 23% within 14 days. Here's where it gets even more interesting. Your gut produces nearly 80% of your serotonin. the hormone that regulates mood, memory, and sleep. According to the Nutrients Journal, 2019, seniors with higher gut bacterial diversity reported lower rates of depression, anxiety, and cognitive decline. Kombucha plays a role here by delivering natural probiotics and B vitamins, especially B1, thiamine, B6, and B12, essential for brain function. Another study published in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience, 2021, found that older adults supplementing with fermented beverages had improved working memory and sleep patterns compared to placebo, with no side effects. That's huge, especially when you compare it to sedatives or antidepressants, which often come with fatigue, balance issues, or drug interactions. Your gut isn't just about digestion. It's your largest immune organ. Kombucha contains acetic acid, also found in apple cider vinegar, and glucuronic acid, which help detox the liver and inhibit harmful bacteria like E. coli and Candida albicans. A 2021 study in Frontiers in Microbiology showed that participants who drank kombucha 3 to 5 times per week had higher levels of IgA antibodies, the immune system's first defense in the mucosal lining, and reported fewer respiratory infections. For older adults, this matters. After age 65, immune responses weaken, a condition known as immunosenescence. Natural immune-supporting foods like kombucha help reduce inflammation and support gut-based immunity without the risk of oversupplementation. The liver naturally slows with age, filtering toxins less efficiently. Kombucha's glucuronic acid binds to toxins in the liver, helping the body safely excrete them. Research in Journal of Ethnopharmacology, 2018, found that rats given kombucha for 21 days had lower liver enzyme levels, AST, ALT, reduced fat accumulation in liver tissue, higher antioxidant activity. For humans, this translates to gentler detox, reduced inflammation, and possibly slower progression of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD, which is increasingly common in older adults. Here's the catch. Not every kombucha on the shelf is gut-friendly. Some brands are loaded with added sugar, over 12 grams per serving, which cancels out many of the benefits, especially for people with insulin resistance or diabetes. Others have hidden alcohol content. While commercial kombucha in the U.S. is regulated to stay below 0.5% ABV, home-brewed or poorly stored products can rise above that, up to 3% or more. So here's what I recommend. Choose low-sugar kombucha, less than 5 grams sugar per 8 ounces. Always check for non-alcoholic labeling. Start slow. 1/2 cup a day is enough for most people. Store in the fridge to avoid over-fermentation. Avoid on an empty stomach if you have acid reflux. So here's the truth, friends. What you drink after 60 matters just as much as what you eat. That evening beer, that harmless sweet wine, they may be quietly draining your energy, your memory, and even your sleep. But the good news, you've got choices. You can swap cocktails for calming mocktails, trade heavy alcohol for gut-friendly kombucha, and still enjoy your routine without sacrificing your health. If something in today's video made you pause, made you rethink what's in your glass, then don't wait. Start small. Start smart. Your future self will thank you. And if you found this helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to Elderly Health Tips. We're here every week, helping you age stronger, feel better, and live wiser, one healthy step at a time.